So, my purpose today is quite simple. I'm a marketing man. Now, these stickers of Smokes Poutinerie have the word Smokes Poutinerie and then the URL smokespodutinerie.com. I've placed one such sticker on this car here. And notwithstanding the fact that the guy's not going to notice it for at least a month, according to my statistical corroborations, aka fucking guess. Notwithstanding all that fact, my real interest is in understanding if this device works as a marketing tool. Here's how it works. The Real Soul stickers don't have his name on them, right? The Real Soul stickers don't have his name on them, and they're just the face of this guy. This fucking guy, man. This little thing right here. So what he's done is he's created something that's iconic, right? Then he attaches his name to it. He doesn't even know what he's fucking done, and I don't know what he's done, so I'm actually studying it, therefore. And one way I study it is like shit like this. Now, the only thing I don't have is a way of tracking when these people discover this shit, which I, once again, approximate to be about a month each. Like, when was the last time you looked at the front of your fucking car plate? They'll be like, how do you know he's not going to look? It's just called mere observation. It's not called anything else than that. Here's the problem with reason. Like, you must have heard it. You may have heard it. Reason is a tool, right? But at the same time, you know, it's just that. It's a tool. It's not everything. It's, this lady obviously doesn't want one in her car because she thinks I'm a fucking wizard or some shit. I don't know what she's blabbing to her husband about in there. But in any case, it doesn't really matter. It's like I say sometimes, apart from the wisdom thing, which I'll come back to, I hope. It's like, it doesn't matter what she's thinking. That's the whole thing, don't you understand? And it doesn't matter if I'm thinking it or if she's thinking it. That's the whole thing. The beauty of it is this. Deal with that shit. I'm an extremist. I don't mind admitting that shit either. I went to the extreme interpretation of my fucking perception of her looking at me and all that shit. And I'm like, okay, if she thinks I'm a wizard, that's about the most absurd fucking thing there is. Then what? Then I realize it doesn't really matter. It's so fucking absurd that if she does, she must be retarded. And if I am, then she's fucked. If she's scared of wizards. Like, look at this one. This sticker doesn't have... And imagine this posted up on different places. What happens? It doesn't have the words on it. This sticker is the one I'm going to put on that lady's car. Or actually, it's a couple. They won't mind that shit. Why would they mind? You'll be like, hey, it's illegal. Fuck illegal, man. Here's the thing. It's fucking funny as shit, right? And when they see this sticker on here, then they'll realize. And you know what's funny is they won't even come back and check. They'll see me putting shit on the front of all these cars. They won't check. Why? They're going into the store. They're out of this world. They already have forgotten about me. Anyway, my interest is in knowing, you know, that's about enough. I don't need to fucking max it out. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you get 10, you're about right. It's fine. It's fine. Who cares where the root numeral 10 came from and all this bullshit? I mean, for me, it works in 12s, right? Because they're 12 imams, 12 months, right? Everything's 12, but it doesn't matter. I don't even want to go there right now. The whole thought process is this: when this fucker goes home, and he's like, "Hey, who put that fucking thing on there a month later?" Then he looks at it, and the thing is this: with the lady and the couple, they still might have this question because it's like. The ideal reaction is this. He sees it on there after a month when all of his neighbors have already seen it and think he's smoking crack or something. And then he makes a judgment. What are people think? What are they going to think? And then how long has this been on here? He probably won't think of that one because people are trapped in time. And then what are they going to think about me having this on there? That's marketing right there. That last question, that last piece of the statement was the fucking key right there. If I can figure that shit out, then I can understand how to manipulate this man. Done. Now, he might end up trying to scrape it off. If he's got brains, he'll say, well, what kind of sticker is it? Is it going to leave shit on my car and stuff like that? So, you know, that's a day in the life of a marketing man. I'm sorry. And the thing is, I hesitate before putting this kind of video up online on my marketing site because that's going to be quote-unquote serious. But what people don't understand is, like, that's how fucking minds work. Don't expect business and marketing to contain rational answers unless it's based on fucking rational stuff. And in this case, it's not. Human behavior is not rational. Now, I like to say that basically all all people are rational. We know this, right? But people are rational. We're rational creatures. We've programmed, been designed, made, whatever the fuck you want to call it, to be rational. But the real question is, do we behave so? The answer obviously is no, right? I mean, a rhetorical question usually has a fucking answer that lends its favor to the guy who said it. I might as well point that out to you too, right? So, no, we don't behave rationally. That's all there is to it. Everyone knows we should be rational, and everyone knows we don't behave rational. The question is, why not? The answer becomes obviously very complicated. There's a rush of thoughts going around in your head, stimulations, impulses, temptations, whatever. See, it doesn't matter what they are. What matters is what you do with them, right? And how you deal with them. You can get a rough estimate that there might be 3 or 4 things that are compelling you to do something at a given point in time, right? Some people call it feelings versus emotions versus thinking versus spiritual versus meaning versus soul versus spirit. Who gives a fuck? Doesn't matter. See, you're getting caught up on like, this sign is so pretty and not where is it leading to. It's really simple. It's really simple fucking shit, right? But unfortunately, fucking people are like so retarded. They're gonna see me fucking put that cone and cup up there and they're gonna be so caught by that shit. And now the fact that it's fallen because I heard it, that they don't mind me like walking across the square, like filming their asses, because they think that the first thing that I did was so. Anyway, that's people for you, right? First thing I do, threw them off, and then I had them, right? First thing I did was like I put the Coke, the Tim Hortons can on top of the fucking, what is it? You know, it's like the reason I'm getting distracted is because all the fucking people that are paying attention to me, and that shit throws you off. My dad calls it attention diversion. Carlos Castaneda's mentor, Don Juan, he said that in the old days, sorcerers or men of knowledge they'd transport a whole fucking room of people into another world, quote unquote. That's some heavy shit. So, I like to play a game I call Follow the Leader. It can be done on a scooter in Pakistan for sure. It can be done on foot here. You're at an intersection, the pedestrian light says don't walk. And like everyone else, you watch the lights. But unlike everyone else, you've watched the lights all the way. And you know exactly when it's going to stop and start. Because see, the thing is, human brain works like this. People pull up to a fucking intersection over their lives and they realize that first they're waiting for the light, then they realize the light's connected to a pole and there's a system and all this shit. Really, you should be watching the lights, right? And you should know. So, like for instance, when the time comes for the lights to change in your direction, you might be thinking, now, do these guys have a right turn signal or left turn signal that's going to empty out first or not? That's really the only thing you should be thinking about in terms of when are the lights going to change. So don't be one of these guys who likes watching the lights change and he goes out when the right lanes are turning and he gets fucking squashed. And if you go out and do that, despite my having said it, then that's your bad, right? Standing at the lights, walking over, most people don't pay attention to the whole system. They gave up at that point that I just mentioned. The light turning, the lanes turning left and right, and you won't believe me when I say that is designed intentionally by God as a mercy to prevent people from becoming too smart and thinking that, like me, they can walk around doing whatever the fuck they want. I accept. See, here's the thing. There really is an exception to every rule, although it's not an exception. You got to understand that so-called exception is just the rule operating in another paradigm. So, for instance, Hume's law or Kant's law, or one of them, Immanuel Kant or David Hume, they posited that if you want to establish the veracity of a moral presupposition, hey kid, you got to smack it on your mum's head, not throw it in my direction. She's the one who's been tormenting you by giving you a little amount of attention that she can get away with. Anyway, David Hume or someone said that you take a principle and you apply it universally to the masses. So if you're a thief, you just have to think, well, what if every thief stole? Liar, same thing, right? Could be chaos in society. I don't care what you think. And then it becomes very selfish. Like, if you can do it, then why shouldn't other people be able to do it? And this is a universally held principle that, kid, you're really cute. Keep that shit up, no matter what she says, man. That's the bomb right there. Can't you see him being a logger in the future, ma'am? Laugh at him and joke with him like that, not me. Anyway, so what was I saying? Something about suppositions, right? Suppose I got on this goddamn bus. Really, if I had a token, I might even consider it. You'll be like, why do you walk around doing whatever the hell you please? It's because I'm fucking smart. I'm sorry. I made a post called flossing, and I went on about it for a couple of minutes because it's not important. It's really retarded to get fixated on anything, especially yourself. And if you get fixated on yourself, it should be with an air of curiosity. See that stupid ad with a guy on there with his tongue sticking out, and it said, follow your tongue. You know what? I walk around making these fucking things all day long. Nobody gives a shit about them, and I'm still swearing, so it's not working, right? I'm trying to let out all these... This place is awesome, by the way. I'm trying to let out these repressed emotions in one manner of speaking. I got a lot of good stuff to say in another manner of speaking. And in the third manner, I just couldn't care less. I'm just having fun. Now look at the driveway. It's so obscure. Now here's the thing. The driveway, what is it meant to be doing? It's meant to be dropping off people fucking where, though? See, it's a curious thing. There's no main door. Why would you have a driveway like this without a main door? There's only that obscure little alley. To me, this place is fucking famous, man. I'd like to move in here. It's in the perfect spot, right between North York, where my center is, and downtown, where you want to be, right? But, like, who to ask, right? It's such a bizarre place. Who to ask? Here comes the 25, good old 25. This is one of the reasons I lived here. And look, another 25. Busiest buses in all of Toronto, fuck knows why. You'll see three of them, one after the other in rush hour. Nobody knows why. I know why. It was back case back. There goes another one. There goes a fucking another bus right past. So it's like they planned it wrong. I love this shit, man. I don't have to worry about the fucking bus, man. So it's like this place is perfect, the neighborhood, but for the fact that my landlord tried to fucking strangle me and hit me on the plate. Well, he did, like, well, basically, the marks on my neck, which are actually going away pretty fast, thank God, since yesterday to today, or 2 nights ago is when he attacked me. I mean, the welts were pretty bad on my neck. At that time, I remarked, well, maybe they'll look like love bites from Colette or something. But I was like, I'm still going to have to wear a collar, right? And that brings me to another point of... Now watch, the bus driver is obviously, he can hear me, he knows I'm out here, he must if he's a bus driver. I mean, he pulled up, right? I mean, here's where I suppose, I take the leap of fucking conclusions or whatever. I'm assuming he knows I'm here. And his job, as far as I'm concerned, is to A, make sure, protect the safety of his bus, and he's completely ignoring me is my point. He's strutting like a fucking king of the hill to the back of his bus instead of doing his job. I could be walking over there right now and letting out the fucking air in his tire. So in any case, I'm wondering about whether or not to go back to the corporate world or not. And that remark about the collar seems to do the job for me. I always try and follow signs, right? I always try and follow signs, and it's like, the corporate world, it looks all rosy and shit, but like most things in life, outward appearances belie inward expectations, you could say. Hey mate, isn't life great? Now, as you can notice, the reaction of a typical Torontonier is just as you observe. Albeit a pretty styling Torontonier. I mean, it's like people here are scared when you say hi to them for some reason. I think it's the big city, but for a fact, I live in fucking big cities. I don't know what it is. It must be something. I think it's a juxtaposition. It's like we're living right next to the States. They're fucking assholes, and so we're trying to pick up on some of that stuff or something. Anyway, so, like, yeah, the collar thing. The guy scratched up my neck or whatever, hit me on the head with a fucking cleaver upside down so it didn't splatter my skull over. into different pieces. And then, people are like, you're rude, you film people in public. Well, fuck that, right? I really couldn't care less. Yeah, I do. You're in public, therefore you consent to your being seen by the public. That's the fucking thing right there. So if someone says privacy to me now, I start laughing. I fucking laugh about it. It's social conditioning. I thought about that shit. Now, the thing is, I know I'm right. I'm not Galileo or anything, but I think I'm onto something there. Yeah, Michael Dell, he put it right. I know this is a correct statement. I haven't thought about it. Maybe I'll have that luxury right now. He said that if you want privacy and security, you're going to have to pick one of the two. That's what he said. That's basically what he said. It's such a fucking famous statement that, like, he's even forgot about it. And nobody's going to do anything about it because it's a different paradigm of thinking. It's like saying, for instance, I have a question. In the digital age, what is the relevance of fucking copyright? What is the relevance of it? Like, the whole IP thing, like intellectual property and even books are intellectual property. Like, if you wrote in a book, you're written like Dante's Inferno fucking back in the 800s or whatever. 1800s, 1300s, who knows? Not the point. That's IP. It came out of your brain and it's got a proprietary value, right? Intellectual property includes anything that can be digitized, right? Basically, any fucking thing that can be digitized comes under the domain of IP. Whether or not you thought there was a value or not, or whatever. Because anything that's digitized can be fucking sold. You'll be like, what? Anything? What about white noise? I'm sure you can find someone who buys that shit if you sell it well enough. I'm sure. It's inconceivable to me how that could be the case. So there we go. I'm going to miss this place. Now that my fucking landlord death garroted me, I'm going to have to find a new place. In the meantime, I'm just wondering what I should do. Should I go back to the corporate world? Should I keep going to laser already? I have my trusty steel-toed boots on. Actually, no, these are the beautiful boots that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gifted me just recently. Anyway, there's a beautiful girl walking up the way and I got something else to say.